Okay, so today we're gonna do something different because we're gonna make something that I've never actually made before. I've seen it made 100,000 times because I grew up eating it, but I've never actually made it myself. So we're gonna make roti. So we're gonna start with 2 cups of flour, but you have to use atta, which is a bit different than regular flour. This is the stuff that I grew up eating, so that's what we're gonna use. So it's gonna do 2 cups. Like we're measuring relatively close, but for f***'s sake, these measuring cups suck! 2 cups of atta flour. Apparently we're using 1 teaspoon of oil, but whenever I saw my mom make it, I don't remember her ever adding oil. We're gonna add like a teaspoon of salt. What is that? Yeah, it's like a teaspoon. 3/4 cup to 1 cup of room temperature water. Mine's a little bit warmer than that, but I'm sure it's fine. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna mix all this in here, and if I need to get a little bit more water, I can add it in 1 teaspoon at a time. Even though I've mixed it quite a bit, it's still a bit dry, so I'm just gonna add just a little more water in there. Just a little bit more. Looks better. I've been doing this for about, I don't know, 8 minutes or something like that, and it's a lot smoother. It's not particularly sticky or tacky, but it does feel nice and smooth, and I think this will be okay. So we're gonna just cover this up for at least half an hour. I'll probably leave it for more like an hour because I'm not particularly hungry yet. I actually left this in the fridge overnight, so hopefully that doesn't make too much of a difference. Apparently you can do that, so we'll find out. It's a little more wet than I thought it was gonna be, but I think it'll still be okay once we roll it out. So I'm just gonna tear this up into balls, which we're gonna roll out. I'll show you what we're using for the pans. So I have my cast iron pan that's all heated up. Got it heated up to like a medium high. And then I have the oven on at 450, and I'm gonna be using my pizza stone. So the pizza stone isn't a key part of this, and even reading some recipes, some people when they make roti don't do it like this, but this is the way that I grew up kind of eating it. So we're gonna try cooking it the way that is at least sort of familiar to me. So I got 9 out of that. This is atta flour that we're gonna use to help roll it out as well. So I'm gonna pop these back in the bowl with some flour in there to hang out while I roll out the first one and give it a test. And see if we've completely messed this up or not. And I know that some people are like, why does Guy use his rolling pin like that? Because I used to have a marble rolling pin like this, and I broke the handles off of it because I'm so incredibly strong. So then I started rolling like this because it didn't have handles, and now that's just how I do it now. Alright, and we're gonna pop this right into the cast iron. It's not super thin. Alright, I'm gonna throw it on and see what happens. We're gonna cook it kind of like a pancake, and like we'll see it bubble up, and then we're gonna flip it. So after we do the one side, let it bubble, we'll flip it. Once that's cooked, we're gonna pop it in the oven and let it puff up. You can see the bubbles are forming. And when I was talking to my mom, yeah, I'm gonna flip this right away. And once I get more comfortable, I'll just flip it with my hands. But for now, we'll use the spatula. Oh yeah, that looks like roti. That looks like roti. Doesn't look like it's super cooked in the middle there. So by putting it in the oven, we're hoping that, I'm assuming, when it puffs up, that hot air is gonna finish cooking the inside. This is a trial process. This is literally the first time I've ever made it, so we'll see how we go. I'm gonna pop this in the oven and let's just see what happens. Oh, I just lost it. The oven's dirty. Oh, it's puffing. Oh shit! Look at it go! We're doing it. There you go. All puffed up. And we're just gonna gently push the air out and brown it just a little bit more. We're gonna go over here. We just have a plate, tin foil with a tea towel underneath it, and we're gonna butter this like that.
That one's
I cooked the shit out of this one.
That's a silly one.
Yeah, that one's for the dog. And again, just butter in between layers. You don't have to butter every layer. It's like a little butter sandwich between those two.
How long are they supposed to take before you flip them?
I think it's gonna be about 30 seconds to a minute each side, right?
45 right now.
Okay, so again, we see a lot of bubbles and stuff forming on there. Like, you might be able to get away with flipping that now. That was one thing my mom did warn me of, that if you wait too long before you flip it, it might not puff up. And we're hammering this out really fast, actually. Shit! Well, I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out. Like, that's pretty decent for a first time, but just to see how it tastes. It's pretty good. Like, it doesn't taste quite as good as the way my mom makes it, but that could just be practice. For a first time, I'm pretty happy with this, and I'm surprised at how easy it was. So that's good news. All right, good. More bread.